Hello and welcome back to Traffic Talks. I hope you are doing well, and I'm gonna get very excited today. So I think you just need to take a moment for both myself and you to get very excited about traveling, because that is today's topic. I'm purposely trying to keep myself calm because I get very excited even just speaking about it. This is gonna be a bit of a road trip, if you will. If you want to hear me ramble on about it, please enjoy. Recently, I was talking to two different friends at different times about travel. The one I was talking to last year, I mentioned a while back, we had this long catch-up conversation and they mentioned where do I want to travel and things like that. And I just got so excited because I love traveling and I love flying specifically. That was the first instance. And the second instance was literally this past week. A friend of mine called, we spoke for a long time, and we mentioned traveling because I went with her on holiday end of 2019 before COVID hit, and it was really cool. So that is how this one came about. It's been a while in the making. This one is going to be all about traveling, specifically flying, but for the most part, just travel in general. I will say I am basically addicted to flying, which is a recent development I just realized, because I just get so excited when I fly. First things first, I love flying. I took my first flight when I was about 25, 26. I think I was 25. I had been saving up my money as per usual, and I didn't really intend to spend it on a flight, but I did. So I have family in PE. I had called them up because they had given me an open invitation to visit whenever. So I called them up and be like, can I come visit you? And they were like, of course. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll book a flight. And I booked a flight. And the week of the flight, a few days before the week would start, I was like, no, next week I'm busy, I can't, I'm flying to PE to visit family there. And they were like, huh, okay. 2 days before the time, I was scrambling to find a suitcase. I had to go borrow one from my sister that lives 5 minutes away, and they were like, you're serious? And I'm like, do I need to print the ticket for you? Yes, I'm serious, like I told you, why don't you listen? And I had booked the flight, I had gotten my baggage, and off I went. This was the same week I had gotten my puppy Russell. So he was literally a few weeks old at the time. We had gotten him because he was undernourished. We got him at 3 weeks. They usually recommend 6. He needed to be very well taken care of, and it was the same week we had gotten him. It was horrible because I had to go to the airport alone. My brother dropped me off, but I was on his way to work. My father was driving to a car event, so he had left very early the morning, and my mom and sister couldn't because my sister had school and my mom had to take care of the dog. I had to just do it alone, and I was like, I got this. I have my ID and my bag and my backpack. My brother drives into the airport, says goodbye, I hop out, and I just mentally tell myself, you got this, you can do this a lot from now on, so like, you got this. I grab my stuff and I walk like I own the place, and I walk to the counter, I check in, and then I go and wait. I call my mom, I'm like, I got in, I'm just waiting, all the things, and she's like, okay, good luck. And I like constantly message her like, okay, boarding now, taking off, switching off my phone, I'll message you when I land, everything's cool. And that's how I took my first flight. But the thing that got me addicted to flying was that moment. Okay, so you check in, you wait for the plane to board, you board the plane, and then you're sitting in your seat. And I love a window seat, so you sit and you look out the window and you wait for everyone, and it's boring. And then the moment they put the engine on, it's like this rumble, and it just builds, and then you just feel it go through your entire body, and then the plane lurches forward and it starts driving onto the runway, and then it's just this waiting. So it's like driving this giant bus to the right moment and place on the runway, and the moment it starts up, you just feel it pulsate through your entire being. The engine is on, the machine is just awake, and then you are pushed back into your seat and you just go, and you feel the plane pick up speed, and it just gets faster and faster and faster, and then suddenly the front wheel lifts and it's like and the back wheels come up, and then you are literally soaring through the air, gaining speed, gaining altitude, and you pass through clouds and you look down and you see everything. You see where you were literally just standing, watching other planes take off. And all of a sudden you realize, this is amazing. And that's just me. I love flying. I've been flying every year for the past 3 or 4 years, except for COVID. Like last year was the first year I didn't take my annual trip to my cousin. To know that I won't be able to do it as easily as I used to, which I think is just the reality of the situation with the new norm with COVID and everything. But the fact that flights are still available is amazing. Unfortunately, we are staying at lockdown level 3 as of the time of recording this episode. We also have been experiencing load shedding, which is not fun. I'm currently recording during a load shed. Yay for that. But flights, they won't ever be normal, but I think the fact that we can actually still do them and participate is really, really nice. That was my first flight ever. I do want to travel a lot more in the future, and I think I'm glad I experienced it so late in life and almost on my own, so I didn't have like anyone else's, I wouldn't say baggage, I would say like their experiences dampening me in any kind of way, because sometimes someone can say something and be like, oh, flying is horrible, and then you're like, oh, they said it's horrible, it must be. Or they're like, oh, it's so exciting, and then you go and you're underwhelmed. I think I'm glad I did it that way, but I enjoy it thoroughly. And I don't think it's specifically flying, I do just enjoy traveling, specifically to places that have a swimming pool. For me, that is the pinnacle of awesomeness. If a place has a pool, I'm good. That's all I need. I'm a Piscean, I'm a fish, I need my water. So that's just me. I remember going to a lot of different places via different methods of transport to these kinds of holiday places. So for the most part, we'd take my father's car, which is actually a big van, and that used to take us. And I mean my family, my sisters, my brothers, my stepmother sometimes, and we would all go on holiday, sometimes their cousins with us, and we'd go to like this place that had this Olympic-sized pool, and we'd stay there for like a weekend. It was amazing. Or we'd go to a place with like pool slides, or like the equivalent of like a water park kind of a place. We once went to a place in Neisner that had a lake. It was near this port, and it had 2 pools. Like it had like a heated pool and then like a non-heated pool, and I was just like, this is awesome. So we'd go to the lake early in the morning when the tide was out, and we'd hunt prawns, take the prawns, go to the pier, fish on the pier, and then come back and swim in the pool. So that was a really fun place. But for the most part, we went to places with pools, but I've always been a water person. That's my thing. But we went with a car several times to several different places. We've been on bus trips, and we've traveled by train several times. So traveling has always been a part of my growing up kind of thing. Even still a few years ago, we still took car trips to different places, and that is something that I will always remember. But flying is my new mode of transport. I remember mentioning my father saying, no, we're gonna drive down. And I was like, okay, you can just pick me up at the airport, I'll fly, thank you. Because I love flying that much. Anyway, the list of places I want to go is quite long, but I think I'll break it down into more general terms. So I plan to travel locally and internationally, but because of all the current restrictions, I don't plan to go anytime soon, which works out to my benefit because I can save up more money for it. But I did speak to a friend of mine, and we were like, okay, we went to a local place, so maybe we can fly the next time and then we can drive the following time. So we're gonna figure that out, but that is definitely something that we both look forward to. And even if it's a holiday, you can always make the most of it if you plan it properly. So for me, my plan is to save up money so that yes, I can travel internationally, but I also want to travel locally, because I think especially South Africa, a lot of international, I'm just gonna say celebrities in quotation marks, they come here for holidays. Even some of the lesser known people come here for holidays because that's just how nice Cape Town and South Africa is in general. So we do have a lot of nice places that can be explored, and I definitely want to explore it, so I will get there. That's it for me. Have a brilliant week. Go forth and plan and enjoy. Love you. Bye.